Test protocols. Test protocols are used to describe the way in which an experiment is performed, and this information is vital to have an understanding of the test results that are obtained from an experiment. And so these should also be documented as part of your material strategy or your experimental strategy. They're created either by internal or external authorities. So you might have protocols that belong to your company or protocols that are international or national in nature, as the case may be. In each of these cases, they will have a documentation number and then details of the experimental procedure as is relevant. Each protocol, when stored in Materiality, will contain information such as a reference number, an issuing authority, a title, and then a URL wherever possible, so that you can read or obtain in great detail the actual information about the procedure itself. Now, right now, I will be, as an example, adding a new test protocol to the system, because it's very important to be able to make this a living system. So in this case, I'm going to add a new ASTM standard to this list so that I can then attach it to experiments, use that to describe some experimental data that will be obtained from such experiments. In this particular case, I would like to add a new standard. The experiment itself I have identified from ASTM as being an ASTM E2581. So I can copy that over. The title follows next. It is ASTM, so I got that. Just fix that. I can put a description if I wish to out here, and then I start the create process. Now, if I'm documenting a particular year, I can do so. In this particular case, I have not attached a year, so I'm not going to put a name. The status is active. I can have hierarchy out here, in that if the experiment is no longer in use, I can supersede it with a new experiment or retire it as needed, or I can also have it in draft status. A URL would be very useful, so let me go and pick that up, because that gives me the means to get the entire experiment should I need it. And then last but not least, I would like to attach it to some kind of experimentation. So in this particular case, it's a shear rography experiment, so I'm going to attach it to shear properties. Save. So at this point in time, I have created a test protocol, which I have then proceeded to attach to an experiment. So now when I'm loading data for that experiment, I can call this test protocol and saying this is how this particular experiment was performed.